Good morning, good morning. Once again, in this episode of Hustlers Kung Fu Knowledge Drop, we're going to talk about some stuff we never talked about before. Once again, it's Glendon Cameron, your hustling godfather, today with some tasty morsels. Number one, we're going to talk about Donald Trump and his shell corps. And that's all we're going to talk about. That's it. Any political post or any white supremacists coming in there like, yeah, Donald, I'm going to delete your comment the way it should be deleted. So just to set some ground rules here, no politics. We're going to be talking about business, and it's going to be very interesting. Now, the first purpose of a shell corp is to protect and profit. Now, with the setup of this corporation, because let's make no mistake about it, Michael Cohen is Donald Trump's errand boy. Donald Trump knew about this. He orchestrated this. He was an active member, and I do believe this is going to come out in the investigation. But with that said, let's look at the stupidity of setting up this shell corp, because I'm looking at it and I tried to find it in Delaware. I couldn't find it. It wasn't popping up. Essential Consultants. And it's just a crazy thing, because here's what's happening. The shell corporation is set apart from Donald Trump. Donald Trump's name is nowhere on it. That's why this is by proxy. Now, they set it up in the state of Delaware. To add additional protection, they should have did this. And I don't know why they didn't do this. New Mexico LLC laws. They could have went to New Mexico and had a blind LLC, which means no one could see who owns it. That's one of the first keys to why this thing started to unravel, because they were able to investigate Cohen, figure out he owned it, but Cohen is not making that kind of money. Also, some other stupid stuff. Let me just go ahead and drop this to you. If you get a loan for any purpose than whatever you state on that loan application, it is bank fraud. Let me just say that again. Like many of you want to get business credit and then go out and buy real estate, and then when you put on the application, I am using this credit card for advertising or marketing, and you don't do that, then you go out and you get this real estate and it goes bad. The first thing they're going to ask you is where the money go. And if the money did not go for the intended purpose, it's fraud. I think one of the things is that many people are used to doing things improper. So it becomes this normal thing that creates this situation where bad behavior is normalized. And people think that, well, it's just a small thing, right? No, it is not a small thing. Depending upon the amount, depending on if they want to come after you hard, this is some real jail time. So the fact that Michael Cohen said, he got this home lock, a home equity line, and then put the money into the LLC doesn't jive well with the banking law. So that's why they're going after him for bank fraud. Now, part of the problem is the way that this thing was set up. It was set up with the expectation that they would never, ever get caught. That's why it's so sloppy, and that's why it's so flimsy, and that's why every day someone's popping out with this payment, that payment, because it was so easy to get to. Now, I'm going to tell you some stuff, and if you want to do this, this will be on you. If you want to create a shell corporation, you need to One, write down your plan of attack. This is why so many people get in trouble with this stuff. They do not have a written agenda. They have an agenda up in their head. They have an agenda in their mind, but you will miss steps. Like, I'll show you something. And I think I'm going to have to use this camera. Yeah, we'll have to use this one. Okay. Now, this is disruptive mail checklist, right? It's got 5 action items on there. If I didn't have this written down, I would miss out. I would forget. I would not. And it's just 5 little, it's just 5 things. Just 5, right? Now imagine something as complex as a shell company that is designed to hide and protect and to profit. There's a lot of steps there. There's a lot of steps there. And if they're not written down, you're going to forget some stuff. You're going to get sloppy, and it's going to come back to haunt you deeply. So that's part of the reason that they have a lot of problems, because I'm quite sure when they were putting this thing together that Michael Cohen had a plan. But whenever I design something, I design it from a worst case scenario situation. Let's say I was Trump's errand boy, and we were sitting around talking about it, and I would say, like, all right, Donald, because I would call him Donald, let's go ahead and go from a worst case scenario and go forward from there. What these clowns did is went from a best case scenario and said, that's good, that works, let's do it. And we see how it's unraveling. This isn't to praise Donald Trump, but the dude is very accomplished. Billionaire, television host. He's done a lot of stuff. He's in Wikipedia. He became the president of the United States. Now, with that said, he has become sloppier than he used to be. He's become overconfident, and he has created these situations for himself, because one of the things with a shell corporation, you need to have probably a 5 to 10 page action item, agenda item written down. Once again, my dudes, my dudettes, this must be written down and it must be thought about. And essentially, all right, like, I'm creating this shell corporation to give my kids the house. You need to take a sheet of paper and write that goal at the top, right? Then just go through what can happen, what can't happen, do the research on state laws, and figure out that, oh, okay, so I can put little Johnny and little Sarah as owners of the house, and over a period of years, I can give them, I think, $12,000. Married couple is $24,000. So I can give them that value of that house tax-free. So every year, I would like amend the articles of organization and say, look, this year, as a tax-free gift, we are giving little Johnny and little Sarah 24% of the house, and the dollar value, blah, blah, blah. So over a period of time, you can legally convert that house into their ownership and never pay taxes because you have a plan. These guys didn't have a plan. They didn't have a plan. I mean, this is bumbling on a new level. This is, wow, this is craziness, right? Now, if you want to create a shell company, number one, you need money and assets, or money or assets. I didn't mean to do that, but you're going to have that, because essentially putting this together the right way, and you can put your purposes and intent in the articles of organization. And I mean, once again, because I looked at this several different ways, and it has come off to, they never expected to be caught. That is the number one thing. Now, for those of you who are watching, discussed this last night, I can't get into disruptive mail prep because the hosting company there's some issues and they still hadn't got back to me. So what I'm going to do is to change the name. It's going to be still disruptive mail, but I'm going to have to do something else, because essentially when you want to white label their site, because I could go ahead and set it up and it'll be disruptive mail prep Thinkific, but I don't want that. I want it to be my own URL. So I got to come up with that. Then I got to transfer the courses over there, and hopefully I will launch Friday. So with that, you can get 50% off of any course down there it's below the video. And you can get, if you spend $350 or more, access to disruptive mail. That's below the video. Now, one of the things with setting up shell corps, you got to have a solid purpose. And I don't know why everybody wants to call me now. I'm a busy man. You have to have a solid purpose. You have to be on point, and you have to really think it out, because like if it was me, I would have went to New Mexico, where it would have made it much harder for the investigators to find out who owned the company, because New Mexico law is you don't have to put the owners down there. You could just create your LLC. And I would have set it up with a bank in New Mexico. Now, it gets a little tricky there, but that's what I would have done. So, I mean, this whole thing was done sloppy. It was the height of incompetence, and they left so many trails because they thought they were smart. This isn't the way you do it. There are people who are doing this stuff right now, and you're never going to ever hear about them because they did it the right way. Now, let's say you wanted to start a shell corporation for a business. Let's say you're a drug dealer. We're saying this just for the practical exercise here. I'm not saying become a drug dealer, but say you're a drug dealer and you do about $3 million a year, but you can't put that money in the bank, and you can't, you just got to be cash and carry, which I'm going to tell you from experience, having $30,000 on you in hundreds, you can't put that in your pocket. This is why I used to wear cargo pants, you know, the military pants with the pockets here and here, because I put a stack here, I put a stack here, because you cannot put $20,000 to $30,000 in your pocket. You really can't, even in hundreds. It's just too much. So it becomes very burdensome carrying around, keeping up with that much cash. It becomes a problem. So what you got to do is to set yourself up. I mean, this is crazy. Set yourself up to where you can launder that cash and not get caught. So the first step you need to do is sit down and think about what you want your life after drug dealing to be done. You know, it's like, because this is the thing. This is why so many people die in the game and go to jail. They have no exit plan, none whatsoever. If you, as a drug dealer or some type of illicit criminal, you're making $2 to $4 or $5 million a year, after 3 years, you should be able to exit the game clearly and cleanly if you have a plan. Most people don't have a plan. Most people don't know the law, and most people are scared of going, quote, legit. So you would ask yourself, what kind of life do I want? And then you would also have a plan to sever ties with your business partners. Now, the quickest way for you to sever ties is to stop producing results. Make sure they get their money, but it's just like, man, I don't know. You just fall off, right? And they go like, damn, G fell off. We can't really give him no more. Yeah, he's washed up. Because see, if you just try to jump out at the top of your game, when you're making a lot of people a lot of money, they ain't trying to let you go because you are a producer. So you got to slowly crank down your production. And it's kind of like you want to break up with a chick and no drama. Just stop doing all of the nice stuff, and slowly it just breaks apart and no drama, no fuss. And she's like, Carl, we're just friends, we're just like roommates. There's no spark. I hope you don't feel, oh no, Gina, I've been feeling the same way, but yeah, I think we should just be friends. There's so many ways to skin a cat. All right. So once you get all that done, then you got to figure out a business model that you can work. Now, this is where it gets real interesting. And this is something that Michael Cohen did. Remember, he took out that home equity loan. Now, you take out a loan, a very low interest loan, right? And you pay it back with the proceeds of the activity. This is why they're on him for bank fraud, because he lied to get the loan and he paid it back with possibly illicit funds. Because if you have a business, right, and let's say you have $1 million and you go to your bank and you say, look, I want to do $1 million loan using my own cash as collateral. If your credit score is good enough, they're going to like, sure, there's no risk to them. Now you've completely washed this $1 million. It's completely washed. It's legal. It's like, where'd you get it? Oh, I got this loan from this bank. See how that works? You can do this with 10 grand. You can do this with 20 grand. You can do it with 30 grand. But typically it works the same whether you do it for 5,000 or you do it for $1 million. I should see some super chats up here. I'm giving y'all the real game. Right now, there's some drug dealer who's tuned into this who's like, whoa, I didn't know I can do that. So super chat it up. I want to see some 10s and 20s up in here. And I want to see more likes. There's 85 of y'all watching. There's 17 likes. This is free game. Come on, people. Work with me. Work with me. All right. So that's one of the aspects you can do. Then you start getting credit. You get this $1 million loan. It's on your credit report. It's on your DMB. And essentially after a few months, you can get more business credit. Because credit cards and business spending is very hard to track. And if I was a drug dealer, I would start an online business. I would start Amazon or eBay or something like that. And I wouldn't really care about making a substantial profit. Only thing I would care about is getting my original investment back, because you launder money. You wash it up. It's now become super clean. It's so clean you can eat off of it. This is some of the things that you can do. Now, part of this is having the discipline to break apart from your friends. You cannot leave the game and be friends with folks in the game. Maybe every now and then you can have lunch with them once or twice a year, but you can't keep hanging out with them, because what's going to happen is Freddie's going to see that, oh, you didn't really fall out. You just wanted to get off. And they're going to be like, well, since you're making money legally, we want the money that you would have made for us out of your new money. So this is why you got to separate from the game. You got to come out of the game. You got to go out and get new friends. You got to go out and get a regular girlfriend, not some hood chick that knows what a trap is. You can't do that. You got to exit the game if you want to have a life, or you can spend many years in prison or die. So that's just some of the stuff, because whether you're doing illicit criminal activities or you're a person who makes a lot of cash from resale, like let's just say you're Lamont. Hadn't heard that name before, right? You're Lamont and you are a reseller and you do about 30 grand a month in cash. And you don't have any credit and you can't get any credit because you got cash, you're not filing taxes. So Lamont, this is what you do. You set up a corporation and you take $10,000. You put that in the bank. Don't worry, they're gonna file the form. You're gonna file taxes. Don't worry, you're gonna be covered. Then you pay that loan back. Like say they give you 60 months, you pay it back in a year. Then after you pay that loan back, you go back and say, look, I want to do a $50,000 loan the same way. But see, this time you're gonna pay it back in 6 months. And then you're gonna do a $150,000 loan and you're gonna pay it back. Now this money now is washed. Just 3-4 loans. And now you can put it out on your income. There's a lot of ways to do it, because like I said, I'm purposely leaving steps out because, that's part of the game. Game is to be sold, not told. You heard it here. All right, so let me get off of here in these comments. We're still going to talk about some more LLC talk. Johnny Walton, thank you for being the moderator. I appreciate you. Be real the same. What's up, mentor? The Wild Jones Report. Oh, I'm telling you, Michael Cohen, the Wild Jones Report, and also thank you for being the mod. He's mediocre as an attorney. He's just mediocre. This guy, Michael Avaletti, that's a killer right there, though, because he actually knows that he has this case won before they even get in court. What's up, charlatan? All right. What's up? Thank you, Be Real. Johnny Walton, is it illegal for me to set up a shell corp? No, not at all. Toy Battle. I want to know how to set up my holding corp because I'm starting my first business. Toy Battle. Toy Battle, you can use the 50% off coupon code, get the Hustler LLC, and that will hook you up with all that. What's up, Honey Bunny? Thank you for being the moderator. Lamode, thank you. Joe Problem. Is there all right. This is the thing with Delaware, and I want you to understand this. Delaware has a business court. If you expect to start a company that will become an Amazon or a Facebook and it's a C corporation, Delaware is your state. But if you ain't even thinking your business is going to be like that, you can file your LLC wherever and whenever you want. So no, don't even worry about Delaware. And no, there's information that can apply to if you want to start an LLC in Delaware, because essentially the way the course is created, you can start your LLC in any state, anywhere. It's just you got to do the paperwork. Lamode, thanks for being the mod. Follow the rules. There's a consequence. Indeed. Bishop Blueprint. Wait, did Michael Cohen own the LLC even though the shell corp was in his name? Okay, good question, Bishop Blueprint. Michael Cohen is the owner of Essential Consultants. Donald Trump is the director and a beneficiary of, and I'm just saying this as an assumption because Michael Cohen, like, look at this. What purpose does it serve Michael Cohen to own an LLC, make payments to a chick he did not have sex with in the name for just to protect Donald Trump? That story is so flimsy. It's got more holes in it than Swiss cheese. It makes no sense. And each day, more and more evidence comes out that it's just collapsing. This house of cards, it ain't even collapsing. This house of cards is on fire. It's on fire. Bishop Blueprint, Michael Cohen is Donald Trump's proxy. Now, let's talk about this because that's a good question. If you have someone in your life that you implicitly trust, that can work. Someone that you entrust, they can set up a corporation for you and you are apart from it. There's no legality, anything, but you run that corporation. I'll tell you, there's a few corporations that I have that are in my partner's name. So even in her death, she still helps me out, because this is the thing with a corporation, because her social security number is on record as, her being deceased, right? But it hadn't impacted those LLCs at all. I pay the registration fees. I am listed on the bank accounts as a manager, and it just goes on and goes on. This is the power of an LLC if you set it up right and you know what you're doing. So Francine is my proxy. I mean, I own them. I execute with them. I do what I want with them. But my name is really nowhere near it. I mean, nothing. So, yeah. Pretty much. Johnny Wallen, this is what happens when you feel invincible. Absolutely. What's up, Tiger Sharks? And this is what happens when you do mediocre work catches up with you. This is extremely This is Amateur Hour Plus. Thank you, Anthony. Let's see. Antonio Valent. Hi, I'm Glendon Cameron. I own the building. I want to say that one day. I really do. The original lady. Illicit criminals should have an exit plan. So that's why politicians retire and go to work for pharmaceutical companies. You get in the game. You know the game. Do you know the average congressman that goes to Washington and makes it 2 to 4 terms exits a millionaire, even if he wasn't, like Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin had a net worth of like $60,000 before she hooked up with John McCain, right? She's worth about 15 mil now. There's a lot of money in conservatism. There's a lot of money in conservatism. Brian Lopez. Hey, I'm telling you, I'm dropping game. Y'all should see this. Super chat up, super chat up. Thank you, Baruch. There's so many things you can do, man. Thank you for the super chat, Anthony Johnson. The original Lady Pit, you bring the word, so I'm dropping something in the collection plate. Let the church say amen. Anthony Johnson, you familiar with the show called Barter Kings? No, I've never heard of it. Cool, right? You can check that out. Joe Problem. I smell someone's going to lose their license to practice law. I smell someone's going to lose their freedom. Michael Cohen is looking at 30 to 40 years in the federal pen. And if you know anything about the federal pen, there ain't no probation. You got to serve like 90% of your sentence. 90% there. So, and also here's the game, because a lot of people are listening to this stuff that Mueller's this. Mueller is a Marine. There's no such thing as former Marine. And the way he's playing this thing, he's playing 5-dimension chess, because you think that they set up Michael Cohen in New York, the Southern District, as an accident? Trump can't pardon him. Trump can only pardon on the federal level. Trump can't pardon him. So if they really, really squeeze Michael, Michael may turn into a little birdie. Chirp, chirp, Trump, chirp, chirp, Trump, chirp. I mean, what would you do? You're looking at 30 to 40 years. Michael Cohen, he's 50 something. That's a life sentence. This dude could die in jail. He's married. I think he has kids. What would you do for your family? Tiger Shark. This is good. Tiger Shark Studios. Hey, Glenn, I appreciate you listening to your show since 2009. I recently purchased a family home. Congratulations. Your advice over the years has helped my business and family life. Keep hustling, keep disrupting. Awesome. Wayne Johnson, Glendon, can I set up multiple businesses set up under one LLC? You can, but the question is, why would you do that? Thank you, Tiger Sharks, for the $10. And make that other business departments. Once again, what are you trying to do? Because that doesn't make any sense. An LLC costs you $100. Your registration fee is $30 to $70. So what are you trying to do? I mean, that's what we're talking about. Be real. Michael Cohen is the modern day Oliver North. That's a good reference. JJ Slinks, yes, watch them. Once again, I'm not being facetious. Use the search button. I got plenty of videos in there. Joe Problem, attorney-client privilege. If you as an attorney are helping to conspire with your client to create a situation that breaks the law, there ain't no attorney-client privilege. Your attorney can't help you break the law and claim attorney-client privilege. So if they got evidence that Michael Cohen has broke the law in connection with Trump, there is no attorney-client privilege. There ain't none. None. You definitely want to limit your risk as much as possible. All right, so let's go back to, let's say you're a reseller and what you need, written plan to come back into the tax system, because unless you file taxes, you can't get a house. That's about the only thing. You can't get in the real estate game. You can buy cars, you can get credit cards, but credit card limits, there's like American Express, once you get over, there's two ways you can do it. You get over, let's say 100K in spending power, right? If you've earned your way through spend over 3 or 4 years, they're not going to require you to submit this form. But if you get the account and it's like brand new, and then you're like in 3 months trying to get to 100K in spend, they're going to ask you for, it's a T something form, and you fill out that form, it's going to give them the right to check out your tax returns. Now, if you don't consent to that, they're just going to cut your credit card off until you consent with that. So you got to be careful. Oh, definitely. But I mean, I've just been watching this, and let me show y'all something, because this is crazy. Let's see, because I was reading it this morning before I did this video. There is so much. And why is AT&T paying Michael Cohen money? AT&T, Novartis, some other high, what? He's a nobody. He's not a prominent attorney. He's not like Alan Dershowitz. He's just not. So, all right. The Wall Street Journal has got it. Let's see. I should have checked there first. Oh man. Hold on a second. I need to. I didn't do the screen capture thing. Let me give this to y'all, because I wanted to look at it so we can look at it together. And all right, we should have it. So here it is. The name of the limited liability company is Essential Consultants LLC. The address, blah blah blah. Witness. That's it. Alrighty then. This is like a shell company. There is no articles of organization. There's no. It's just they just put this together to open up a bank account to funnel money. This is dubious as you all get out. That's it. That's the corporation. Now, this could be another reason that they got tipped off, because there is no purpose, there is no express law, there ain't nothing. It's just an empty corporation, which something I advise against. That is that's crazy, man. That's really crazy. That is. All right. Let me show you something. Secretary of State. And for those of you who buy the Hustlers LLC, I'm actually going to add a new component to that, just to let y'all know. It ain't going to be like immediately, but it is coming. And you, if you've already bought it, you will get it. And it's going to be good. Okay, media. All right. So, filing history. Come on. Oh, it did that to me. All right. So, here's my LLC. Here's one of them. All right. Notice the difference. Let's see. Can I toggle? This is Michael Cohen's LLC, right? And this is mine. Look at all this up under here. There's a lot to it. There are no articles of organization to this LLC. This is a straight up vehicle to grab money, which could be legal, but I'm willing to bet all the money in my pocket, which is like $1,000, that it ain't. I mean, they were peddling influence, but once again, just to stick to the core of this is not the kind of LLC that you want. You want something that states a lot of things, gives you way more protection. They weren't even worried about protection. They didn't even care about protection. They just wanted that money. So that's just one of the ways that you can protect yourself, by actually creating an LLC to actually do business, not to do some crazy stuff. That's funny. All right, I'm gonna stop playing with the shades. Let's see. Let's look in here. DJ Slink, you just got to watch some videos, man. Big M110. It's a T4506 form, allows them to view your actual tax transcripts from the Internal Revenue Service. Thank you. Once again, that's something that people have looked at and talked about. He doesn't have any expertise in anything. Anthony Johnson, you can buy FSBOs, which means for sale by owners. You can find those on Craigslist, and you pretty much need the cash. That's for you potential home buyers. Yes. You can also clean up your money through opening a brokerage account. Explain that one. Because when you have money and money goes in that account, like if you just put in like 1,000 here, 2,000, 3,000, maybe 30,000 over a year, no one's really going to notice that. So, but if you really want to run some money through real quick, I don't know how that's going to work. So explain that to me. Eric and Nicole, I was wondering what the same. They were trying, essentially Essential Consultants is a lobbying firm, but that opens up another can of worms. Once again, if I had done this, I would have created a real company. I would not create a shell company. I would have created a company that was engaged in some type of enterprise selling a product. Been totally different ball game. Pretty much. Charlton, that's like Leon Spinks buying $150 worth of cocaine. They were just looking for a reason to report his corporation. Wow. Let's see. Anthony Jones, lastly, if y'all haven't got to cop that 30 days to 25, the course is life-changing, and I've quadrupled my money thus far. Once again, a lot of people ask for testimonials, right? Now, you can watch this video from start to finish, and I've not asked anyone for a testimonial. I've never asked for testimonial. These are stuff that people who are executing. That's the problem. A lot of you have no problem with the price of the course. You just know you're not going to execute, and that's the real problem. So thank you, Anthony Johnson. Stan Martin, you got a refund, and I don't really owe you anything. So let's do that. See, you can't ask for your money back because you already got your money back. I don't owe you anything. Joe Problem. Glenda, how do you know this stuff? Tell us what books you read. Books? I ain't reading any books. I actually done it. This is one of the things, and this is why I keep telling y'all that you need to become competent in stuff. I didn't read any books. I actually done this stuff. I've actually helped out the person who was in the drug game get out. LegalZoom, they serve a purpose. I wouldn't use them. Well, no, he wants the specific books. But see, here's the thing. You can read a book, right? But until you execute, actually do it, actually put some skin in the game, that's just information in your head. Like, I can safely say that if I had set up this thing and I was talking to Donald, it would have been a totally different outcome, because I would have set it up from the scenario of worst case scenario. Because when you ask yourself what could go wrong, and then you can come up with countermeasures like, okay, well, all right, we're doing this illicit thing. We're taking these payments from these foreign governments. We're taking these payments from these international corporations. If someone was to ever find out, what would be our defense? Well, we just can't create an empty shell corporation. That looks suspect. So what we'll do is we'll create a real corporation. You know, since you're a real estate guy, we'll do real estate, and then we'll buy the land. We'll actually get a loan, and then we'll funnel money in there. So there'll be so much money coming in from legitimate transactions that it will be hard to source out the illicit payments, which stand out like sore thumbs, because that's the only money that's going in there. There was one firm, it was doing like, and they almost 100K a month. That was the only firm. You just look at the bank statements, it's just like illicit money, no services rendered, no receipts, nothing, just bam, money in. No products, no services. I mean, it is eerily suspect. Wayne Johnson, because I know how to create my own LLCs. Why would I use a company to do what I already know how to do? That makes no sense. Anthony Johnson, I see from these questions, I know many of these people haven't watched as many of your YouTube videos as I have. I've watched at least 300 of your videos, real talk. Thank you, Anthony Johnson. Appreciate you. Because I talk about this stuff, and a lot of you are just too lazy to go back and look at the videos. You just want me to answer your question and tickle your immediate gratification fancy when I'm trying to teach you something, but you don't really want to be taught. I just answered that question. I already know how to do it. Stefan Azar, thank you for being the mod. Sure, books can guide you, but your heart defines you. Jay-Z. Jay-Z getting deep these days. Big M110. I heard you can put money into a whole life insurance policy. You can borrow against it, and the money can't be taken from you because it's for retirement purposes. I am not well versed on that, so I can't answer that. I don't mess with whole life policies. I know how annuity works, but I don't know about that, so I'm just gonna have to say okay. What's up, Steven? All right. Yeah, typically when you learn how to do this stuff, because I've probably set up about 50 corporations, and I've even set up 2 C corporations, which are hard because you got to, the people who are setting up the C corporation, they have to have a firm plan, and they have to know what they're doing to tell me what to do. So that's why I really don't do a lot of LLCs for people. Maurice, let's see. Here we go. There we go. Pretty much. David Brown, Legal Zone will set up your LLC, but it'll be like the Michael Cohen LLC. That's a point. I've seen a few of them, and they were exactly like the Michael Cohen LLC. So, David Brown, that is an excellent point. In fact, he's right on the whole life. Okay, like I said, I don't really know a lot about insurance. I know about annuities, and I know a lot about term life, but the whole life, that's a complete mystery to me. Derek Brown and LegalZoom will not teach you how to use an LLC. Well, and I'm not saying you, but a lot of people, this is the thing. A lot of people operate their lives on hope and fantasy, and they feel that someone's going to come save them. They feel that someone's going to just bless them with a lot of money. People really feel this. Now, I've had the unfortunate or maybe fortunate experience of being homeless and dead broke with no one to help me, and I was on my own. And I was in that situation for about 2.5 years. So I know if I don't do the right things, if I don't put away money, that could happen to me again. Like, really, it's probably not ever going to happen to me again because of the way I live my life. But that fear still drives me. Whereas a lot of you haven't been through that state of extreme discomfort. What's up, Rose? Good morning. So part of this whole thing is you need to focus on getting money. Like with this shell corporation, they had the money aspect locked down. They were selling, once again, allegedly selling influence to the president, which is a crime, by the way. Just saying, it's a crime because the president is not supposed to benefit from the office in any way, not cash, not gifts, nothing. So if it comes out that, wow, it's not the Me Too movement. It's kind of like the Me Too movement, but I have a feeling that Stormy Daniels thing is going to bring Trump down. Just a feeling, because I watch a lot of the news, and her attorney, he's sharp, he's confident, but he ain't overconfident. And he just like, I've got this, I got this. And like I said, I did a video. There's other women, there's other payments. And if these payments are close in timeline, and there's like 3, that's a conspiracy, which, by the way, is illegal. So we will see. Permanent whole life. Troy Battle, homeless, feel you for real. I mean, this is one of the reasons I created Disruptive Male. I even have a video on this channel. There are no social programs for men. You as a man are down on your luck. You're on your own. Sad, but true. Jerome Carter, I'm surprised no one's asking you about the loan and 3% interest from one company to another. Amazon. I will tell you, if Amazon offered me a 3% loan, I would take it, even if I didn't need the money, because that loan is going to be reported on your taxes as a loan, and you're not going to have to pay taxes on that money, which is going to be greater than the 3%. Anthony, I relate with you, G. I was homeless and the family abandoned me when I got out of jail. Now people say I'm all about the dollar, like that's bad. I know my money won't leave me. You know, that's funny how people who have no money always are assigning this bad personage that, oh, you all about the money. It's only people who don't have money who say that. You've never heard someone like with $1 million like, yeah, I'm out here grinding. They go like, good. Well, if you need some help or maybe do this or do this, they never say this. I think a lot of people who are broke say this to make themselves feel good about themselves, as if there is some superior moral posture in being broke and poor. I don't get it. Oh my God! Did anyone watch the sale from Christie's to Rockefeller Art World, 646 million? Which actually, thanks to Anna Thompson for being a mod and regular web guy, actually kind of ties into this conversation. The art market is 100% unregulated, and a lot of millionaires and billionaires are hiding money in art, and they're extracting it out. There's this one case where this guy bought this piece of art for $50 million, but he sold it to the second highest bidder, and he had a fake painted, and he has that in his house. There's a lot of things that are going on with money. There's a lot of things. So that's a good point, Diana. Giuliani at one point was the man. He's no longer the man. His day is over. He should be retired. He should be chilling with his grandkids if you have any. Maurice Anderson, I hate when grown men say money isn't everything. I don't know about that, man. That's just crazy talk to me. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. I am in a neighborhood with some of these kind of people. And sometimes when I'm at a local eatery and I'm just listening to the conversation, this is a totally different conversation than I would have if I was at McDonald's. This is a totally different conversation. All this money goes to charity. I wonder about that. And because see, let's say it goes to charity, but see, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to get paid. A lot of people. Antonio Valentine, after my incarceration, my mother put me out when my parole was up. No job, no family with help, and my Chevy had so many engine problems. And I wrecked my car. I didn't have a car for like 2 years. The Wild Jones report, Gulani. I feel that he's an attention whore, and I feel that he just wants to shine. The original Lady Pimp, money isn't everything, but it gives you access to anything and everything. Pretty much. Let's see. Where are we with this? Okay. So we're going to do this. If you got a few more questions, I'll answer those. Go below if you need help. 30 days to 25. Everything at Hustlers Kung Fu at lifeskills.com is 50% off. And if you spend $350 or more, then you will get access to Disruptive Mail, which I am going to make sure launches Friday because they still haven't got back to me, which tells me they can't solve the problem and they don't want to talk to me. So I'm just going to go on with my secondary plan. Now, let's do this. Hold on. I'm going to show y'all something in a minute if I can get into it. And I'm waiting just for a few more questions. All right. So we will let those come in. Media ATL. I should have did this before, but I did not. Come on. There we go. Oh man, it seems like it just got worse from Michael Cohen. This just broke an hour ago. I mean, that's just crazy. All right, go ahead and drop. So, all right, let me do this. This is going to happen. I need to edit it. What's the day? The 9th. So we need to make this, it's going to be before 12. Let's see, let's go with 11:45 a.m. It will not let me do it. Really? All right, so let's do that. All right, there we go. We're cooking with gas. All right, so this is what's going to happen in about 10 minutes. All right. Here we go. You don't ever want to be Mr. Too Good to Be True. We're going to talk about that in like 10 minutes. So just go ahead and go there. I'm going to put the link in the comments after. Let's see. Well, I'll have to show my, because this is going to be the next show. In, like I said, about 10 minutes. So I'm going to put the link here. Let's see. Anthony Johnson, our economic fundamentals still on point. In the crash, they're more on point. So just go ahead and go over there. I will be there in like 10 minutes. Be sure to like the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and be sure to get whatever courses you may need to help you on your economic journey. Once again, they're 50% off. The links are below. And I will see you guys over at Disruptive Mail for the next show in about 10 minutes. After I go ahead and get a little water and drain the weasel. That's an old school term. You should know what that. Like, comment, subscribe. I am out.